Hi, I'm Walt Sears, Director of Faith Formation and Evangelization here at Blessed Sacrament Church in Seattle. Starting in 2014, we're going to begin a great adventure. People of faith around the world try to reflect God in their daily lives. Here at Blessed Sacrament, we want to create an entire culture in which all of us make a habit of reflecting God to one another and everyone we encounter. As Roman Catholic Christians, we will do this by consciously and intentionally reflecting Jesus Christ to one another. This is very exciting because there is nothing more central to who we are as Christians than to allow Christ to shine through us. This idea is accessible. I like to say each one of our parishioners from 4 to 94 can understand this idea and act on it. It's inclusive. Our entire parish can begin doing this together on the first day we implement it as a standard in our community. Jesus taught us how he wanted us to treat one another by his ministry, his life, and his preaching. There can be many words to describe it, but ultimately it's to walk gently, to act with compassion, humility, and selflessness, to bring wholeness, integrity, holiness, accountability, peace, and joy into this world. It all can be summed up as unconditional love, agape. We're going to create an internal culture at Blessed Sacrament in which people make a habit of engaging others in a spirit of love that is a reflection of Jesus Christ. This is going to require catechesis, prayer, reflection, practice, and witnessing. But we are committed to this path. This is who we are called to be. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, I was in Mass, moving forward to receive communion. Normally a time of very private prayer and reflection as we're ready to receive the body of Christ. As I was moving forward, I noticed a man that I knew kneeling just off the aisle. Instead of walking by him, I touched his shoulder and kept going. It was months later when he pulled me aside and said, "You touched my shoulder. I was kneeling in prayer, in great anguish." He said, "I desperately needed to be touched. And you did in that moment." It was then that I realized God had used me in that moment to be present to him in a way that he desperately needed. So in that moment, because I was willing and conscious of a fellow parishioner, God used me to reflect Jesus Christ to him in his moment of need. Here at Blessed Sacrament, we have been richly blessed. We have a beautiful worship space, wonderful liturgy and music, and great preaching. The next step is for us to become more conscious and more intentional in our efforts to reflect Jesus Christ. We call this initiative Seeing the Face of Christ and Being the Face of Christ. This is the path to which we are dedicated. If you are a current parishioner, I ask you to consider this idea, embrace it. Talk to others about the impact that it might make on our community. And lastly, prayerfully reflect on how God may be calling you to play a role in this great adventure. If you are not yet part of our community, or maybe considering joining us, I would invite you to visit. See what it might mean to your faith life when you're in a community that practices seeing Jesus Christ and being Jesus Christ to one another.